Internet, hello, you absolute lovelies. Today we are going to be talking all about this guy right here. Batman in general, lots and lots of Bat news across the Batman, DCU, a little bit of comic talk, as well as Jackie Chan's Spider-Man. Very excited to hear that Jackie Chan is in part working on Spider-Man in a very unique way that makes that movie that already seemed the greatest even greater. Very excited to dive into that. Plus a little bit of Ultimate Universe comic book news in that world as well. And as always, you guys steer half the conversations. So any super chats you get in here, I'll be answering without fail. Really been enjoying doing those. This morning, my new episode of DC Studios Showcase drops. So if you guys haven't checked it out, it is me, Frankie, and Tyler sitting down with the dance choreographer for Peacemaker. That Incredible Dance Season 1, as well as the new Incredible Dance Season 2, choreographed by this incredible woman. So we talk to her and talk a lot of Peacemaker. So if you guys want Peacemaker coverage beyond what's already on this page, check out HBO's YouTube as well as HBO itself for more over there. And if you're new to this page, I cover movies, TV, lots and lots of comic books. This show in particular is all of the news that's actually news. I tend not to cover rumors, but the news itself, but from a comic book lens. And I read 50 to 70 comics a week. And on this show, I break down my favorite 9 books that week to give you some recommendations. If you want beyond that 9, I do a letter grade for every comic I read. Well, the new comics I read. So the 30, 40 or so new comics I read every week of that 50. I rate over on Patreon. So patreon.com/Coy-Jandreau. A couple of you joined last week, which I really appreciate. So long preamble over. That is what this page is about. Let's talk about Jackie Chan first, shall we? Jackie Chan is arguably the most iconic stunt man of all time. This is a man who basically brought an entire style of stunt work to America. And to this day, I think we've had a lot of incredible stunt performers like Jet Li, Tony Jaa. More recently, a different style of stunt, more of your Evel Knievel style stunt with Tom Cruise. People doing their own stunts is a more of a common conversation now. But Jackie Chan, pretty formative in making that a thing. This man and his stunt team, Jackie Chan's stunt team, the people he trained, the stunt coordinating he has done, that team are doing the stunts on Spider-Man Brand New Day. Every week, it's been, a lot of the thumbnail covers for the last few weeks. Every week, I have a new most anticipatory element of this Spider-Man movie, and this might be the biggest one yet. I love the costume. I love that it seems to be street level. I love that this looks like it's going to deal with a bigger ensemble set of characters within the world of a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. But most of all, I love when Spider-Man swings and is acrobatic and feels tangible in our world. Jackie Chan is the pipe dream of throw that guy in a suit and holy crap, he moves like no one else. Like that's Jackie Chan's whole thing. So the people that Jackie Chan trained, he said he showed up on set in London and he surprised the director, saying, quote, "I went to watch the rehearsals and the director was quite surprised to see me. I made sure he understood that they are a part of my team." In another interview, he said, "I went to London and visited the set. My Jackie Chan stunt team was busy filming Spider-Man and I was the action director for the Jackie Chan stunt team." You guys know I'm a huge stunt Oscar proponent. I'm so glad that's finally happening this year. You guys know I am a big, big, big proponent for stunt awareness. I think as soon as that mask goes on, it's usually a different person, and those people don't get the love for doing all of the superhero stuff that we love that makes these movies possible. Having a team like the Jackie Chan stunt team on the Spider-Man Brand New Day, like ensemble, just elevates this so much. I don't think I could think of a bigger below the line bit of praise than this. When I talk about Lanterns and that below the line team of Chris Mundy, Tom King, Damon Lindelof, this feels like what's being formed over there. What Destin Daniel Cretton did with Shang-Chi was already so incredible. What he was able to build with that tactile fighting style and all the elements therein. Now he's adding Jackie Chan's stunt team to his already keen eye for stunt work. We're in such good hands. The Spider-Man is going to be so special. Very excited about it. That's all the news this week, Spider-Man wise. They did wrap their filming in Glasgow. I do think their marketing is already off to an incredible start. The movie is out in about 11 months. and all the behind the scenes photos are some of the best I've ever seen. I love that they shut down the ability to take photos for a couple days. I'm assuming that's some more story stuff, but they kind of opened up the world to let us see pretty much the Spider-Man swing we've always dreamed of, and then we get to see it actually in the finished product or in the trailer, but we don't really know confirmation on the villains. I think they're misleading and saying a lot of villains, some of which I'm sure will be in it, but I love all the misinformation but transparency. I think that's the new secret sauce for Marvel marketing and big superhero marketing in general. Let us in, let us see some stuff, but please keep the story till the movie. And I think that's so perfect because this is me doing a headline about a stunt team. So it's very effective. I'm very excited about it. I'd love to know what you think in the comments below. Live chat, I'd love to know what you think right now. Let me know if you're as excited as I am for this. And I'm going to answer a couple super chat questions. Remember, I never leave a stream until every super chat is answered. So if you got a question that's just eating away at you, I promise to answer it. And I will also try to check the live chat at the end there. But we're going to talk a lot of Batman stuff, all different Batmen after I check out these super chats. So first up, Ragged Recording. Good to see you, man. Ragged Rec asks, hey, Coy, for the fund. Appreciate it very much. What do you think of the new Batman #1 announced from Matt Fraction? It's felt like a possible DCU direction. Your thoughts? I have not read it yet. I did read the Batman Infinite or whatever it's called, that more techie Batman that Kyle Higgins did, the guy that's responsible for the Radiant Black greatness. I liked it. It was fun. Certainly not the direction I think they're going DCU wise with that comic, but Matt Fraction is very good at tangible, tactile, grounded. I think he does write in a very cinematic way. So that already, kind of speaks to what you're saying. I think it is a smart thing to make the comic, especially if you're doing a new #1 anyway, feel like something that's going to be familiar to audiences. Say, this movie comes out in 3 years. I don't know anything. I work with DC, but that doesn't mean I have the schedule. Theoretically, say Batman DCU happens in 3 years. The most recent #1 is going to be this #1. That's what people are going to probably pick up. So you'd want that to feel similar. That's the pro side. The con side is I don't know if they know how they want the DCU Batman to that level to be. This comic would have been written 5 months ago. And I don't know if 5 months ago or now they know enough of what they want that specific tone to be. I could be wrong. They could have an entire script that I don't know about. But it would be hard to predict that far ahead 5 months ago to tie into this tone. That said, Matt Fraction, the way he writes, I do think it's a possibility. That would be the most recent #1. Very, very curious about it. Very excited about it. And either way, I'm very excited for a new Batman #1. That's probably going to be the headline next week. I started this show to try to cover comics. Headlines are not, really going to pull in numbers with comic-based news. That's just unfortunately the way it is. But I'm always a proponent for the comics themselves, so I always try to recommend comics every week. But even in the big world of pop culture, even zooming out of comic books, when there's a new Batman #1, I think it's only happened 4 times, maybe 5 times since he originated 80 years ago. Batman #1s are not a thing. It's not a character that reboots a lot. This is an exciting moment. I'm very curious how that plays with Hush being broken up into 2 parts, how that interruption is going to feel. I got a lot of questions, but I'm very excited overall for what Batman #1 feels like, and that is next week on September 3rd. We are 5 days away. Also, you lovelies, next month is my birthday. I am going to be a little bit more absent because I actually want to take some time for myself. I'm so tired all the time. But the week of my birthday, I'm not going to be here, but I want to. I might throw up a wish list. I've been thinking about getting like those switchboards, the roadcaster. There it is, like a roadcaster, that sort of thing. I'm gonna put a wish list together and include that, but I might put that in the comments of this and then leading up to my birthday because the great Darth Vader, Douglas McKinney, one of the OG Coy-Jandreau YouTube and big Coycast proponent, the great Doug McKinney has sent me my first birthday gifts. He sent 2 things. I got one before we recorded Coycast, got the other one yesterday. And he's helping out with something that's going to be for the backdrop here of this very channel. So I want to build this up, and I really appreciate Doug sending in something. JC Cleaver asks, have you been listening to Prof suggested last week? I have not listened to a single album except for Crystal Method. I've been so busy. I like listening to new artists, like actually sitting and listening. I'm a person that listens to albums. I like listening to a full musical experience. So I don't multitask with new artists. This week has been really, really busy. I've had a lot of shows to do, a lot of ground to cover, a lot of comics to read. So I haven't had time for an actual sit and listen. So I've been listening to background stuff, which is stuff I know more, like your, in my case, Crystal Method. I've been listening to a little bit of Wu Tang. I've been listening to Dochi, some metal. I've been following a lot of drummers lately, and being kind of in that space, but no new stuff this week yet. And last one before we get to the Batman news, Ryan Anderson. Thoughts on Zachary Quinto as Brainiac in the DCU? Oh, that's interesting. Um, I don't hate it. He's not my first pick, though. Zachary Quinto is very good at playing that stoic, removed, almost robotic, but still some humanity, and you'd want some of that for Brainiac. I personally see a little bit more charisma in there, though. I would add a little bit of malice. I'd go a Michael C. Hall, that kind of energy. Hell, Tramel Tillman, he's in the news a lot lately. Maybe he's in Spider-Man Brand New Day. I think he is. But that's that kind of energy for Brainiac for me. I definitely like Michael C. Hall is my big pick. There's a lot of people, but I personally wouldn't see a Zachary Quinto. That's not how I would cast him, but I'm also sure if I saw Quinto get cast, I wouldn't be mad. I'd just be curious, and it wouldn't be my initial take, but I'd love to see what he'd do with it. But I would say someone else. All right. I'm going to move along to the Batman. We've got a bunch of Bat news, starting with Alan Richson. It has been a very common fan cast. It has been a talked about so much that James Gunn himself has acknowledged it level of bat cast for Alan Richardson. This dude is an icon of Blue Mountain State. He is very, very iconic as Jack Reacher. I remember when he was Aquaman on Smallville. I am a fan of this dude as a human. All of his interviews, I really like what he has to say. I like what he's outspoken about. I'm a fan of this dude as an actor. I think this guy is very passionate. I love that he wants to be Batman. I love this quote, and then I'll give you my take on it after. Alan Richardson said, quote, "Well, it's not a rumor that James Gunn is a fan. He said so himself. And I'm a fan of and quote, well, it's not a rumor that James Gunn is a fan. He said it himself. And am I a fan of James Gunn? Absolutely. I don't want to mislead people. Words have been exchanged about Batman, but I strongly don't think that Batman is in my future. I do think there is something in my future with DC, and I would like that to remain true. I love the transparency here. I love his openness. I love that he publicly said he wanted to be a Batman, and now he's publicly saying, yeah, I've talked to James Gunn. Yeah, I've seen the news and all the rumors, but not likely Batman. Something else DC, though, and I think that's really smart. One, it's smart of DC to make sure that the dude that's been so publicly saying he wants to be involved gets involved and have that meeting. Two, I think this dude looks like a superhero. I want him somewhere in there. I'm glad it looks like that could occur. And three, I think situations like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, you're going to get asked that a lot, and you need to lie. We want that surprise. But something like Batman, which you've said you've wanted, you're going to get asked if you're playing Batman until they cast and announce Batman. I think getting ahead of it and saying you still want to be in DC when and if he gets announced as someone in DC, it's a lot cleaner if he's already had this quote come out. You're not going to be disappointed if he's not Batman, if he's someone else awesome. There is a litany of characters Alan Richardson can play in the DCU. That dude is built like a superhero. He is made for this stuff. And I think he's a great actor that can actually do something really special with a number of characters. Since it's a DCU meeting, my fan cast of him as Colossus or Sabretooth, less likely. But there's so many big dudes, like tons of big dudes at DC that he could be. I'm very curious, where we would want him to be. I'm very curious, especially with him having played the glory that was that was Aquaman in Smallville, which is a very, very different take on Aquaman than obviously Jason Momoa. I'm really excited to see what we could possibly get with him as any number of heroes. I'd love to know in the comments what you guys think, who you think Alan Richardson should play, who you in the live chat, who you think he could play. I'm seeing Darkseid, I'm seeing Killer Croc, I'm seeing Ragged Recording saying bringing back Arthur would be rad. There's so many options right here. I love the Shazam choice. He looks like Shazam. He's got the build. You're going to need someone bigger than Superman to make it like that kind of comic accurate. There's not a lot of people as big as Alan Richardson, which I like, which is also why I didn't necessarily love him as Bruce Wayne. But someone like Alan Richardson, Shazam would be very interesting. And again, I don't know what is going to take place, but I'm very excited that this meeting has happened, and I'm curious to see overall because he seems like a good dude. So let me know in the comments who you think Alan Richardson should play, and let's keep on Batman, and let's keep on who isn't playing him. Another quote. Someone asked, "Is Chris Pratt going to be Batman in the DCU?" And James Gunn said, "Oh, is it likely or possible Chris Pratt will be Batman in the DCU?" James Gunn said no. As something else, yes. So yes, it is possible. This isn't him saying yes, it's confirmed. This isn't him saying yes, he's cheekily going to appear as Batman. No, he's not Batman, but it is a possibility that he could be someone else in the DCU. I think that's exciting. I think that he's a lot of fun as an actor. I love that James Gunn doesn't tolerate fools on his sets, which means he's going to work with the same people he's vetted and trusts. I think Chris Pratt is a great opportunity, another person that really suits a comic-y world. So very curious where he ends up. He will not be Batman for all the people that worried about James casting the same people, but he will be hopefully somewhere in the DCU. And I'm very curious what it is. I personally have seen the Booster Gold casting a lot. If they're going to go with an older Booster Gold, Chris Pratt's in his 40s. I would prefer a Sean William Scott Booster Gold if you're going older, but I would prefer a young 30s, 20s, and I think Billy Magnuson is like made for Booster Gold. Like Billy Magnuson, Dreamcast for Booster Gold. But Chris Pratt, a lot of dudes he could play, a lot of really fun characters, especially after we saw how great Guy Gardner was as Guy Gardner and like what energy he brought, even though that was criticized at first. I think there's a lot of potential for Chris Pratt. So, as well as Alan Richardson, I'd love to know who you think Chris Pratt should be in the DCU. Now we're sticking with Batman for 3 more Bat stories. This one is my most excited. The story I'm most excited about. This is from an interview with Josh Horowitz, sitting down with Darren Aronofsky for Caught Stealing. If you guys haven't seen my review yet, it is completely spoiler free. I'm a big old Darren Aronofsky fan, and I've been following his Batman for 15 years now, and this is the most succinct I've heard it described from the man himself, so I trust the source. You'll also notice I'm just giving you guys quotes from the actual people because that is the only way to curb rumors. It is a messy internet out there, but these are actually quotes from the people themselves. And from Darren Aronofsky's lips to your ears, he said, quote, regarding his Batman, "I was really focused on The Fountain. I never really took that seriously. I wanted to make Fountain. That's where I was at. Frank Miller and I co-wrote a script," which is crazy. "But my whole strategy on that one was I wanted to make this totally wild, crazy film about love and the search for the Fountain of Youth. And I felt like if I was on Batman, they might let me make The Fountain," which is kind of what happened, sort of. "I think the Batman that me and Frank pitched and wrote was really down and dirty, duct tape kind of movie. This was never really going to be selling Batmobiles. I don't think I was the right guy at the right time. It was rated R. I think the whole world of superhero films had to come out first to scrape the bottom of the barrel before getting to the R-rated films like some of the later ones did." He also acknowledged that he wanted Joaquin Phoenix to be Batman, which I totally see. I've always said the best Jokers would make amazing Batman, and the best Batman would make amazing Jokers. I think each of the good Batmen, man, oh man, would they make an interesting Joker and vice versa. But he wanted Joaquin, the studio wanted Freddie Prinze Jr., and that kind of summarizes the tone issue. Obviously, they went in the direction of making more, commercial Batman films, especially at that time. We've reached the point where we are getting more R-rated stuff. We did have Deadpool's success. We did have Logan's success. So it is very interesting to hear what could have been, especially I had no idea. Like I said, I've been following this for 15 years. I had no idea that Frank Miller actually co-wrote the script. I knew Frank Miller was involved. I knew he was adapting Frank Miller tone. I didn't know Frank Miller was directly involved in the script itself. That is so exciting. So after all these years, I'll never get to see it, but there is a universe out there in the multiverse where there's a Frank Miller fascinating, gritty, duct tape dirty Darren Aronofsky Batman somewhere. And that fascinates me. I feel like the Batman we got with Matt Reeves is the closest we'll get. That really gritty mechanic story we heard about. I love the Batman. I'm very happy we're getting the Batman 2 separate of the DCU because I'm very excited for more Batman. I'd like 2 of them. One that interacts with the Justice League, one that gets to be his own Earth-based detective. But this would have been the grittiest and the darkest. And it also might not have been a very direct adaptation, which might have upset a lot of people. Warner Brothers probably didn't want a Joaquin Phoenix art film with Batman. So feels very Taxi Driver, feels very different overall. But I'm very curious. I want to get my hands on the script, is what I'm saying. So cool to hear that interview from Josh Horowitz for Caught Stealing. And again, I had a good time with Caught Stealing. Check out my non-spoiler review, not a single spoiler in it, and a big old fan of Aronofsky's work. All right, penultimate Batman story. Speaking of getting quotes from the people themselves, the co-writer of the new Batman, from co-writer Frank Miller to co-writer Mattson Tomlin, co-writer of the Batman 2, when asked, will this sequel be better than the first film? I just thought this was fun and cheeky. He said, quote, the only worthwhile reason to make a sequel to anything is because there's a story burning to be told that you believe can top what came before. Bars, son. I love that. I agree. Like, there's no reason to just keep making movies except the commercial reason. But if you have integrity and love for the character, you've got to have a script that you find better, that there's a story that you feel like must be told. Better not in the oh, we're comparing it all time sense, but better than letting it be. Like, I love this tick. I love the idea that there's a story just bursting out of him and Matt Reeves that has to be told. I'm so excited the script is done. I'm so excited to see more of that universe. I loved the Penguin so freaking much. I like Mattson's work quite a bit. He wrote the Terminator Netflix series. He is writing Berserker, which is the presentation I got to do on Hall H with Keanu Reeves and Keanu Reeves comic. He's a great writer and really passionate dude. Very excited to see his Batman 2, co-written by Mattson Tomlin and Matt Reeves. I know we give Matt Reeves his very justified flowers, but I do want to also, give praise to Mattson for writing this, for Lauren LaFranc for show running the Penguin, giving us more of that universe. Incredibly produced by Matt Reeves, but Lauren LaFranc deserves her flowers for the Penguin too. So just always want those names to be in the consciousness as well. And last Batman story, very short, Clayface, now filming. Very excited about it. We're getting a Clayface movie written by Mike Flanagan. I often say Walt Flanagan because I'm a big old Kevin Smith fan, but Mike Flanagan wrote a Clayface movie. Very excited to check it out. Directed by James Watkins, who did Speak No Evil last year. Very intense film. Really curious what a full-on mid-budget horror film in the DCU looks like. Be an interesting place to get our first Batman. I don't know if that's what they're doing, but having a Batman antagonist get their own movie, be pretty crazy to introduce Batman like as the bad guy of that story or as the good guy, but not the lead. Yeah, very, very excited for Clayface, and it is now filming. So that is very exciting. That means we are mere months away from Clayface officially. It's coming out next year, but seeing them roll means it's happening. So I'm really excited about it. All right, back to some super chats. First off with Spidey Sensei. Spidey Sensei 72, thank you, and asks, got a really cool t-shirt idea. I can get two made and send you one if you tell me a location. I sent Gina's to the break room P.O. box. Do you have one? I have my manager's P.O. box. You know what? I put my manager's P.O. box in my Mail Monday videos that go up every Monday. So if you follow me on Instagram, that's the best way, Mr. Sensei. Yeah, I think that's my best P.O. box because I travel so much, I am bad at mail. So his P.O. box, he will pick it up even if I would forget it for months, and then he'll tell me it's there. So yeah, the P.O. box that I post for Mail Monday in the Instagram every single week is the best way for anyone to send me this. And I love this idea, Spidey Sensei. I'm very curious. And good to see you. Sci-fi extremist, good to see you as well. I am very excited that you're in here, and I want to read this promptly, and it just scrolled away. There we go. I read Peacemaker Tries Hard the other day, and it was so much fun. I also think how the DCU is now post-Superman, it could easily fit into the show. Peacemaker Tries Hard is my favorite Peacemaker comic. I talk about it all the time. I think the Bruce Wayne joke in that is top tier. I think it is so funny. All the love to the Peacemaker Presents Eagly Double feature, but Peacemaker Tries Hard, right there at the top. Really love that book. Glad you enjoyed it as well. I absolutely think it could fit into the DCU. I feel like it was very inspired by the DCU. I think DCU is how that book gets to be as wonky and weird and fun as it is. So I'm totally with you. I would love to see that. I agree. Peacemaker Tries Hard with Bruce Wayne. You'll see how. Read the book. It's great. It's a miniseries. It's self-contained. It is so much fun. All right, we've got a couple more stories. We have talked Jackie Chan. We have talked Batman. We have talked Spider-Man. Let's talk X-Men. This is a very brief story. It is just a confirmation because, again, I don't like rumors. There's a ton I mean, a ton of rumors going around right now about the X-Men. I don't know if they're true or not, but that's not what this show is about. So I'm going to tell you what we do know. Jake Schreier, director of X-Men, confirmed. He is at work on the X-Men. We are officially into pre-or production on X-Men. That is a gift. I'm so excited. Tomorrow is D23. I do not think there will be any X-Men announcements, but I do think we're going to start cooking up Doomsday. And as Doomsday comes to a head, we're going to start to get little sprinkles of what's to come for the X-Men. With Doomsday being a winter release now, I could see next year's Comic-Con being very X-Men and Doomsday heavy. I think we're going to get a casting announcement potentially very soon for X-Men, because if it's going into production, or it already is, they're going to be filming and they're going to be, cast members about. So I'm very curious if we get our X-Men soon. It could happen very soon. I don't know if it will, but yeah, it's exciting. Jake Schreier is officially making X-Men and it's happening now. So stay tuned. I'm going to keep you guys posted on the actual news out of that production as it develops. And last bit of news before I get back to Super Chats, before we get to the comics themselves, Marvel, the comics, announced Ultimate Universe 2 years in from Denise Camp and Alex Packnadel. Great artist. I'm sure I'm butchering that last name. I apologize, Alex Packnadel. Denise Camp, absolutely killing it writing. The comic special releases this December, and we'll see the return of the Guardians of the Galaxy and the debut of Ultimate Daredevil. I am loving what's going on with the Ultimate Universe right now. I am so bummed it sounds like it's ending with issue 24 of Ultimate Spider-Man. That is Hickman's last issue on Spider-Man. I'm very curious with all of the Ultimates time travel stuff and all the energy going into that book, what an ending looks like. This year 2 thing is intriguing because that's right lining up with, issue 24 of Spider-Man, 2 years of Spider-Man. Does this whole universe end? Do we get new creative teams? Or is this I don't know. But Denise Camp doing a 2 years in on Ultimate has me very excited. And that is coming out in December. And that was just announced. And the cover was shown. And I'm so good at technology, I'm just going to pull it up on my phone because I saved it to show you lovelies. Boom. Looks like that. Ultimate Universe 2 years in, December. Pre-order. Go to your local comic shop. Check it out. Also, I really love the Dan Mora art that is our thumbnail because it's Batman. Because today we're talking about all the different Batmen, but not a specific one. So I thought, what's broader than Batman with a Batman? Super chats. Let's go back. JC Cleaver, thank you very much for the super chat. Thoughts of Kieran Culkin as Mad Hatter in Batman? I love that. I'm a big old Kieran Culkin fan. I love his energy. I love his ness. I love how much he is himself. I love how that man knows who he is, and he is not hiding it. And I love that. And I really appreciate that earnest honesty. That'd be a really fun Mad Hatter. I'd love that press tour. I'd love that take on the character. I'd love to see that Mad Hatter could work in Matt Reeves' universe. I'd love a weird, gritty, grounded, because Kieran Culkin could play that great. Yeah, dude, love that. JC, co-signed. I'm with you. That's great. Ryan Anderson, I'd love to see Billy Magnuson play Booster Gold. Hell yeah, man. It's been 2 years I've been saying that. I think I said it on Christian show. No, I made a video first, then I talked about it on Christian show. Yeah, I've been saying Billy Magnuson Booster Gold for quite some time. I am with you. I think he's perfect. I would love that very, very much. Spidey Sensei's cool shirt idea. I am back to Sci-Fi Extremist. Okay, we have caught up to real time. Ryan Anderson, great casting. I'd love to see Christopher Judge play Apocalypse. That is really fun. I can see it. I can hear it. Great call. I like your casting choices today, chat. Ryan Anderson, great addition. I'm with you. Robert Pruser, I saw someone mention Alan being Azrael. I was going to say Azazel. That's Marvel. I saw someone mention Alan being Azrael, and I can see it. I can also see him being Ares or one of the ancient gods. He can do Booster Gold too. Ex-football player, could be roided up LB or DE. LB. Linebacker, I knew that. And defensive end. I think those are what those things mean. Yeah, I mean, Booster could be big. He's a football player, but I don't think he needs to be a mountain. And Alan Richardson is a mountain. Yes, he could lose weight, but if you've got a mountain, there's a lot of mountain characters he could play. But I think he's fun. I think he's funny. I see why people are saying it. Personally, I see Billy Magnuson. I see Glenn Powell. I see a number of them are choices, but I would not be mad if he ends up being that. And the Azrael is a really fun one, man. And that's a big guy. So I'm into that. Uh, Jose, don't worry about it. Did you get Peacemaker season 2 early or are you waiting to? I saw a lot of it. And I actually, if you guys watch my coverage of it, you'll see that I filmed here before I had lights. So I watched that a bit ago, and those first five, and I pre-reviewed it, um, those episodes, and they will go up as they come out. But I'm also rewatching it. But yeah, my coverage is already done and coming up week to week for those first five. And then when everybody catches up, then I'm going to be along with you for the ride. So a little bit of both, little column A, little column B. So yeah, watching it and covered it. All right, that is going to do it for the super chats for now. Let's talk about comics. Before anyone gets out of here, if comics aren't your thing, please leave a like in this video. Got 100 y'all in here, got 48 likes. Keep them coming. Also, if you're watching this now or later, leave a comment below. I would like to do some fan casting. I want to know who you think Alan Richardson should be. I want you to know who you think Chris Pratt should be. I'd love to even hear who your Batman fan casting is. Mine's Jake Gyllenhaal. I don't think it's going to happen, but I want Jake Gyllenhaal real bad. All right, let's dive into favorite comics of the week. Doug McKinney. Doug McKinney's in here, guys. Darth Vader. I've been wanting to keep growing this page quite a bit, and I've been wanting to get some lights for the back, and Darth Vader got me my first of two. I only need two. He got me one for my birthday. I so appreciate it. He got me Dune on 4K, and I was already so grateful. That came in first. I didn't know there was more to come, and then the other package came in, and I was overjoyed. It's going to be in this week's Mail Monday. I already opened it, obviously, because I'm telling you about it. But the video is going to go on Mail Monday, as it does. I'm just so grateful. I want to make sure he knew that. Here, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. All right, let's do the comics themselves, ya lovelies. All right, these are not in alphabetical order, so I need to swipe through them and get them in alphabetical order. Actually, you know what? I have a bit of them right here. Okay, my favorite comics from this week. I've been working hard for you guys. Comics come out on Wednesday. This show I really want to keep to Fridays. When I'm traveling, I'm not going to do the show, but every other week I'm going to try to do Fridays. But that means I read 56 comics, I think, since Wednesday. And I do shows on Friday morning. So Wednesday and Thursday, I'm like nose and books and doing shows. Wednesday, I had 3 shoots. Yesterday, I had 5. Today, I had 1. So I just finished reading these from this week's comics. This is for the week of August 27th. These were my favorite books of the week. First up, we've got Absolute Martian Manhunter number 6. This book is such a trip. It is such an experience. It is so psychedelic. It is so well written. It is so smart. It is such an existential journey. I could not recommend this book more. This is the end of the first arc. Martian Manhunter is absolutely incredible. Highly, highly, highly recommend. Next up, my second favorite of the Absolute books, Absolute Wonder Woman number 11. She is almost done with her second arc, and they were both incredible. Kind of like 2.5 arcs because it was a different artist for a couple issues. This book is so dynamic, so intense. Love the way they're playing around with mythology and Wonder Woman's mythology. I love the way this book feels very new and different, but doesn't feel like it's dishonoring Wonder Woman's legacy. I love how mythic it feels. I love the maze story they're doing right now. Highly recommend Absolute Wonder Woman number 11. Next up, after Absolute Wonder Woman, we've got over from DC to Marvel, Doom 2099. This is really cool because it ties in the Spider-Man, X-Men, everything 2099 universe that was really popular in the 90s that's come back a few times with the One World Under Doom storyline. So you've got Doom 2099 versus Doom Sorcerer Supreme. You guys know I'm a big old Doctor Doom fan. I am very excited to see that 2 Dooms don't make a right. And this book is real right. It is so good. I really enjoyed this book. Really, really think it's dynamic and interesting. Great writing showing the difference between these Dooms and also really inventive time travel and character use. Really enjoyed it overall. So highly recommend that book as well. Next up, we're going from Doom to his nemesis, Fantastic Four fanfare number 4. Each of these fanfare is all of the Fantastic Four, but it's kind of centralized on one member of the family. I loved the thing one last month. This month is Sue Storm, and I adore it. This is an incredible Sue Storm story. It's maybe my favorite Mole Man story is in these pages right here. This is very powerful writing. It's a great example of Marvel's first family. It's really fun and adventurous. It is still very sciency. Had a great time, top to bottom. Fantastic Four fanfare number 4. Next up, we've got Justice League Unlimited number 11. Nope, sorry, number 10. This is some Dan Mora art, and it is dealing with the fallout of a giant time travel event. And that's right, it is a bunch of them saving the time trapper, who is, in fact, Doomsday. This deals with Batman's distrust. This deals with the giant team that is Justice League. This is wrapping up a number of storylines while launching a bunch more. It's a big old issue. It feels Justice League big, and I really love that. Justice League Unlimited has been hitting Mark Waid on pencils. He's writing. Mark Waid writing, Dan Mora on pencils. It is fantastic. And while we're at DC, next up, alphabetically, is going to be Mr. Terrific Year 1, number 4. So impressed with this. Mr. Terrific is a character I love. Strange Adventures is my favorite Mr. Terrific. I really am so impressed when someone can write this character because he's so smart. It's hard to write smart characters sometimes. This is a telling of his origin. Every issue has been great. This might be my favorite. It is the genius of Michael Holt with the genius of Bruce Wayne and the dance of that. I love Batman. I'm not shy about it. Second favorite character of all time to Spider-Man. Mr. Terrific is one of my favorite, like, modern DC characters. Like this modern take on him, I adore. This issue is absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend Mr. Terrific Year 1 and especially issue 4. Next up is going to be an indie book from Mark Miller. Mark Miller is a very polarizing figure. You love him or hate him. This book is going to be polarizing as well, and his Huck book, which almost made the list, is polarizing as well. This is Nemesis Forever. Nemesis is, what if Batman was just a bad guy? What if 100% of his genius and his money just went to pure evil? This is that book. He wears all white as a taunt. He is all the Batman things, but a bad guy. Dark Horse has brought Nemesis back. This is like the 3rd volume, and this is issue 1 of that new volume. You could pick up right here, or you could read the last 2. I'd recommend reading the last 2. They were great. But Nemesis Forever, Nemesis is back, and it's a damn good time. After Nemesis, we're going mainstream for the last 2. The second to last pick alphabetically is going to be our new number 1, Thor, the Mortal Thor number 1. This is a really cool thing they're doing. Al Ewing wrote on Immortal Thor for like 30 some issues, like years, 3 years. And apparently that was only part 1 of 3 of his big epic. This is part 2 of 3, but it's a brand new jumping on point. You don't have to have read that. I'd recommend it, but if you want to just jump in here, brand new storyline, brand new arc. I'm very curious how it all ties in together because of the events of the last month's last issue of Thor. This is a brand new jumping on point. He doesn't know what's going on. You don't need to know what's going on. It is a really fun number 1. I really enjoyed it. It felt like Thor, and Pascal Ferry art is always a good time. And our last one of the week is going to be Ultimate Spider-Man number 20. I'm so sad that apparently this is ending in 4 issues. This is my favorite book, I think, almost every month. It has been so consistent for 2 years. Jonathan Hickman is killing it. I love how conversation-based this book is. I love that it's so well written that you care about these people's personal lives and journeys. It is hard to quantify without reading it. It is just so good, and it's so Spider-Man. And honorable mention, Deadpool and Wolverine was awesome this month or this week, and X-Men 21 also awesome this week. That is going to do it, you lovelies. My favorite 9 books from this week, August 27th, were Absolute Martian Manhunter, Absolute Wonder Woman, Doom 2099, Fantastic Four, Fanfare, Justice League, Mr. Terrific Year 1, Nemesis Forever, The Mortal Thor, and Ultimate Spider-Man. These are what I recommend you check out at your local comic store. If you want to know what I thought of every other comic, I read 50 some comics in the last 2 days. Check out my Patreon, patreon.com/Coy-Jandreau, literally $5. The price of one comic. If you and I see eye to eye and you want to know comic recommendations for the price of one comic, you could find out 40 comics a week. So like 160 to 200 comics a month for $5. I also give you guys my ratings on all the movies and shows I watch. So I only really review the stuff I like. If you want to know what I thought of something and you know I saw it and you don't know what I thought of it, you can see my letter grade for comics, movies, and TV all for $5 over at patreon.com/Coy-Jandreau. And that helps keep this going because this is like, YouTube videos about comics make like $11, which is why the Streamlab is appreciated. And that's why I never leave without answering every single Streamlab. I see your question, Mel NYC Reviews. You know what's fun? I boxed up the 50 comics. I picked them all out. I'm having my social media person over today, and we're going to figure out how I'm going to randomize 50,000 subscribers because one of you lovelies is getting 50 of my comics. And I made sure not only are they in alphabetical order, but it spans like 70s, 80s, 90s. There's modern comics, and there's some comics from last week. It's Marvel, DC, Image, Boom. There's all sorts of books in there, and it's 50 of them, 51 actually, because I included DC High Volume that I'm in for 50,000 subscribers. That is still happening. I just got to talk to my social media person about how I'm randomizing it, but I see the book. I'm gonna grab it. Hold on one second. All right, so this is the actual box that will be coming to one of you. This is about 3/4 of the books. It's in a big old box. It's 50 comics. So once I figure out how I can be fair and randomize fairly, this will be coming at you to one of you. All these books. So I'm gonna figure that out today. I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna do it. I think I'll probably do like a live stream and be like 50K comic giveaway. And then we'll announce how it's gonna work. But anyone that is subscribed is gonna be eligible. And then once I know how to do this, whatever my social media does 100K next, I'm gonna do it again there. So I don't want you guys to have to be subscribed to 100 things because if you don't have Instagram, I don't want you to be punished for that. But when I hit 100K on Instagram, TikTok, or here, I'm going to do it again with 100 comics. So stay subscribed to me and you'll stay eligible, but be on whatever platform that is. So whatever is next to hit that big landmark, I'm going to give away 100 comics next time, whether that's YouTube, which I hope because I want that plaque, TikTok, or Instagram. But this 50 is going to be just Instagram people, and I'm going to figure that out today for you guys. And one of you is going to get these 50 comics of mine, and I'm very excited about that. So that's coming. By the end of like September, it'll be mailed because I am leaving town for my birthday. But I promise, I'm a man of my word, those 50 books will be someone's. Plus, if you guys want me to sign a comic I'm in, the DC High Volume comic that I'm in, I'll send that as well. So 51 comics. All right, let's do a couple more super chats and then talk about the comics that are coming out next Wednesday that I'm most excited about. Sci-fi Extremist. Oh yeah, been curious. How in advance do you film at DC Showcase? Today's episode was a lot of fun. Who knew how much goes into a dance routine? Haha. Yeah, man. Having her on was so cool because that dance is so impressive. And I've worked with Alan Tudyk a number of times, and I adore him. And I assume his wife is awesome because he is awesome and she is awesome. She's an absolute delight. I saw her again, Superman premiere, and we had a little chat. She's wonderful, and that conversation was a blast. And yeah, it's so much work, and that is a lot of actors to coordinate dancing for that opening. So it was really cool to talk to her. Check out DC Studios Showcase on HBO as well as HBO's YouTube to see that interview, as well as lots of other conversation about Peacemaker. We filmed that in June or July. It wasn't in the last 3 weeks. So before that, I have a really bad sense of time because I filmed so many shows. So that might have been July. I know it wasn't the last 3 weeks. That's all I know. But yeah, she was a delight, and we filmed that a little bit ago, not too crazy long ago. But yeah, it's been a whirlwind. All righty, let's see here. Weak bearded bastard. I feel you. This is all I can grow. This doesn't connect. This is it. I feel you. I empathize. Thank you, weak bearded bastard. Who would you cast as the Martian Manhunter in the DCU? I think Tremel Tillman could be a good fit. That's fun. I see him more as a Brainiac, but I don't think that's huge leap between the two as far as energy. Sterling K. Brown, I think. Yeah, I want Sterling K. Brown. I really want him to be someone important. I really want that man to lead one of these characters. So I think Sterling K. Brown. I love that dude. I think he's such a talented actor. I think he's wicked smart. When that uh, Michael B. Jordan, Black Superman project. I don't even know what became of it, but when that was happening, he was my Superman because that dude with glasses is so Clark Kent, and that dude without him is so Superman. And I'd love to see him get to play someone like Martian Manhunter, who's so intelligent, who's so physically capable, who's so everything, man. I'm a fan of that fella. Orlando Jones is a good one. I like that. Orlando Jones. All right. I'm only gonna sign the comic I'm in. I'm just gonna sign the DC. Actually, it's right here. Hold on. My desk is covered in comic books. I'm not even kidding. I probably have like I don't even know how many comics are on my desk right now. All right. So there's a stack of comics here. And then there's a stack of comics and trades here. There's a stack of comics here. There's a stack of bagged and board comics here. And then there's a stack of comics and books here. And there's more here. Yeah. So I probably have like, I don't know, 300 comics around me right now. Let me find the one, and then the 50 that I'm sending out around the floor. And this is just from the last 2 weeks. But this I am willing to sign if someone wants me to. I'm going to include this in the giveaway. This is the Batman Dark Victory special edition that was only available at San Diego Comic-Con, and this is for my show DC High Volume. And if the person wanted, I would sign this because I recognize that guy. Look at that guy. If they wanted, I'd sign in this little circle of bat light because yeah, I'm in this comic. So that would be coming in too if they so chose. So giveaway winner gets that, and the 100K giveaway winner will get that too. I'm going to keep one to give to that person. So subscribe to my Instagram, my TikTok, my YouTube if you're not already, and that is going to be when I hit 100K. But for now, we're going to focus on the 50, and the 50's coming. All right, let's see. BVIS the nerd. Coy, hello. In 1 month, my town is opening its first local comic shop. Dude. Otherwise, I had to drive 45 minutes. Can finally be a Wednesday warrior instead of a monthly maggot, LOL. Congratulations. My mom has become, and this, I'm going to say, monthly mother. My mom's become a monthly comic fan, buying she loves Mr. Terrific after the movie. She's been going every month and picking up Mr. Terrific year ones, which is the coolest thing. I am so happy for promotion from monthly to weekly. I'm so stoked you're getting a comic shop. Seeing comic stores open warms my heart. That makes me so very happy. Dude, congratulations. That means a lot. Hopefully, you watch this show and you check out the 9, but also, like I said, the Patreon, if you want to know what I thought of every book I read, Patreon can be a great resource. I know a lot of people at my local comic shop, if they're patrons of mine, they bring my list and they go through it at the store and they pick up stuff, which is really cool. And I've really been enjoying hearing I'm influencing folks' comic pulls. Thank you, Kenya King. Oh no, my camera's dirty. Is that better? Wish I'd known earlier. Yep, that looks way better. All right. Now at the end of the stream, people at the top of the stream watching later, I wish I'd known because yeah, that looks better. All right, I'm gonna quickly check on the live chat, and then we're gonna do comics that I'm gonna be picking up this Wednesday, and then we're gonna wrap out of here, you lovelies. It is Friday. I still have a lot of work to do. I'm trying to up my social media game. As of right now, you can find me on DC High Volume every month interviewing folks, as that comic suggests. You can find me every other Friday on DC Studios Showcase, which I really love folks checking out. Please check that out. Today we talked to the choreographer for Peacemaker. You can find me on Capes and Cowls. Today was my last episode of Capes and Cowls. That is Christian Harloff show. You can find me there today and earlier. You can find me at Real Rejects. I do lots and lots of stuff over there. You can find me doing Hollywood Reporter interviews on red carpets and junket stuff. I'm going to be covering a very fun event for a very upcoming horror movie. It's around the corner tomorrow, so stay tuned for coverage of that. It's going to be intense. I'm excited about it. You can also find me on Coycast, which is my podcast. I do that every 2 weeks with the great Jake Lloyd Bacon. You can find me on my Patreon, which is what I described, all those comics and movies and TV rated, as well as Coycast Patreon, which is me and Jake talking about all sorts of entertainment it's more like every other week now because of how busy I've been. I'm doing a lot of stuff. So no more Capes and Cowls, but lots of other places to find me. Some love to Hippo Nipple, real fans for being in here first. Patrick Modeling, good to see you. Cinemaze, good to see you. Zertza, hello. Al Ewing's Thor, I was talking about that later in the episode. Hopefully you're still here to hear about it. I talked about the Act 1, 2, and 3 thing. That is very funny. Patrick Modeling getting into football season. Very excited to see some Florida State love. Doug McKinney, good to see him. Made it back in here. Micah McCarsell, good to see you, good sir. I'm really enjoying this new Nightwing, man. It's not as good as Tom Taylor's to me, but I'm enjoying it quite a bit. We've also got Seattle KO, a lot of the OGs in here. Armada, hello. The guy B, hello as well. Last time you gave me a question for my 10K Q&A to rank Batman villains, I've taken it seriously. It's spinning off into a full-length video. Dude, that's great. That's great, man. Congratulations. That is a fun video. Make it. That's dope. What's good, Untitled? Just finished Batman 89 commentary. It was awesome. Oh, yeah. Real Rejects. I had 2 video goes up yesterday, and today. Yesterday, we broke down how I would save the movie theater, and Greg broke down how he would save the movie theater in our podcast episode. And today, Greg and I are watching Batman 89. It is up right now, dropped at 8 a.m. A full commentary, because we've seen Batman 89, on that feature film, the Michael Keaton's first Batman. Jackie Chan is not in Spider-Man. He is leading the stunt team, or that's his stunt team, I should say. Aiden. Brand New Day has me so torn. I don't need him to have all the Avengers there, but the practical nature of the stunts is so exciting. I think they're saying more people are in it than are, and I also think there's going to be montages, so it's not going to be, a ton at once. All right, that was a quick perusal of the top of this. Let me scroll back down to the bottom. Let me see what people had to say. Do I think Aaron Paul could play Firefly Victor Zazaz? I see Firefly much more, and that's a fun cast. I like that. That's great giveaway. Oh, thank you. Let's see. Yeah, I appreciate it. 100 comics need a bigger house. Yeah, you know what, Doug, if I hit 100K on Patreon, if I had 100,000 subscribers on Patreon, I would give away not 100,000 comics, but I'd do a 500 comic giveaway. 100K. If I had 100K patrons, I'd give away 500 comics. Which won't happen, but I would do it. Cut is killing me, Kenya King. I'm down 6 pounds. I'm gonna go a lot lighter on the cut in September. 6 pounds August. I'm gonna try to just lose like 2 or 3 in September, because I want to have my birthday. I want to relax and enjoy a little. And then I'm gonna try to lose another 6 in October, and then I'm gonna go 4 pounds in November. And then I should be about my goal weight. So I'm going to do a slow progression cut. But man, oh man, that's why the veggie straws. That is why the veggie straws. All right, we got BVIS the Nerd asking. Thank you, BVIS the Nerd. Also, for a hypothetical MCU Hobgoblin arc, my fan cast would be David Tennant and Matt Smith as the Kingsley brothers, a 3-movie Spidey mystery. Thoughts? That's fun, man. I love Hobgoblin. I love that mystery ending in Amazing Spider-Man 289. That was such a big reveal. I'm a big fan of David Tennant and Matt Smith. My only note is that I do really feel like Kilgrave was so iconic, it'll be hard to see through that. But if anyone could do it, it's David Tennant. He's very talented. Matt Smith, though, man, I want that dude in the MCU so bad. I feel like Star Wars kind of burned him. But he seems to be coming back to Star Wars with the new Ryan Gosling Star Wars joint. So maybe if he isn't angry about what happened to Star Wars 9, he'll be happy to do another Disney thing, and then he could be in Spider-Man, depending on how that Sony deal works. But I love that, man. I'm all about it. BVAS the Nerd, I'm with you. I think it's great. Co-signed as well. Great casting today, you lovelies. Hey, happy birthday, Anthony Manzano. Birthday yesterday. All right. I think, let's see. Who would I cast Aaron Paul as in the Reeves Batverse? Aaron Paul in the Reeves Batverse? I mean, I think in the Reeves Batverse, he'd make a good Firefly, because he'd be like a pyro. He would just lighting fires is a very grounded villainy. I think he'd be a good Victor Zsasz too. I like those 2 things mentioned. I'm really curious who Matt Reeves picks for his next villain. I'm very, very curious about it. I don't love him as Scarecrow personally. Ghost Rider's funny. I personally see Ghost Rider a little bit more greasy. Yeah, all right. I think that is going to do it, you lovelies. Live Coy, indeed. This was an absolute pleasure. I am very excited. I will let you guys know as this hooks up. Oh, I didn't do my comics. I'm buying. When did I go? Well, there's more to come. There's more to come. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. I got veggie straw on my mic. All right. The comics I'm going to be picking up this week include pulling it up, pulling up. This is in order of clicks. The two sites I use for comics, by the way, are coverprice.com. That is my price guide. That is my news source. That is how I log my comics, and a lot of different things is where my wish list lives. The other site I use is League of Comic Geeks, and that's where I look at what's coming up in comics because they have great high quality photos. And that's what I save to show you guys my favorite 9 covers. It's also where I save all the art from the comic covers that I put on Patreon. So when I'm pulling up comics of the week, it is the comics that are most clicked on League of Comic Geeks. So this isn't in any sort of order I'm picking. These are the comics I'm going to be picking up this upcoming week, the week of September 3rd. Guys, this is my birthday month. I'm so excited. I'm really excited. I'm such a shameless narcissist with my birthday. I lean all the way in the whole month to taking some time to myself. This week, September 3rd, I'm going to be picking up Absolute Superman number 11, Absolute Green Lantern number 6, Batman number 1 coming out this week. We've also got Ultimate X-Men number 19, The Amazing Spider-Man number 11, Uncanny X-Men number 20. That cover's cool. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 11, Batgirl number 11, Wolverine number 13, The Avengers number 30, Poison Ivy 36, very excited for that issue, Magic number 9, Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu number 12, JSA number 11, all new Venom number 10. That cover finally gives away the spoiler of who Venom has been. Laura Kinney, Wolverine number 10, Spider-Man 94 number 1. Guys, the Spider-Man 94 continuity finally getting an answer. We see Mary Jane finally land. I know we saw it in Spider-Verse, but I'm excited in comics to have that storyline told. So Spider-Man 94, number 1. Imperial War Exiles, number 1. The Adventures of Superman, The Book of L, number 1. We've also got Gwenpool, number 5. Surprisingly good title. I'm really digging that. Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 2, number 4. Resurrection Man, Quantum Karma, number 6. We've also got Phantom Road, number 15, as well as Doctor Strange, number 450. It's crazy that Doctor Strange 450 is so low on people's click list. That's such a big number to reach, and it's like near the end. But yeah, I'll be picking that up. We've also got Sam and Twitch Case Files number 17, The Tin Can Society number 8, and I believe that is it for my must pickups this week, September 3rd. All right, let's dive into the weekend. All right. I will talk to you guys very, very soon. We will see. Anthony Manzano. I think Wildcat would be great. I think, sorry, I should read this out loud. Coy, knowing James Gunn's history and choosing obscure characters from comics to do a live action for me, if Alan Ritchson is not playing Batman, I'm thinking Two Guns Kid or Wildcat. I've been talking about how Wildcat is, you know, one of those characters I could easily see translating to the DCU, and it's also a good legacy character. He, he boxes better than Batman. I think it'd be really cool to see a Wildcat, and I think he's a little big still, but I think that'd be a much more, apt one-to-ones. That'd be cool. I'm not mad at that casting at all. I'm going to end on that casting. Everyone, dive into your weekend. It is Friday. Thank you so much for joining me. Leave a like on the way out of here. Leave a comment below letting me know who you think Alan Ritchson should be. Let me know who you think Chris Pratt could be. Let me know your fan casts. Fan casts are fun. I'm going to keep filming a lot of stuff next week on Monday. I think the thing I'm filming this weekend is going to drop over at the Hollywood Reporter. But on this page, you guys can look out for Alien Earth episode 5 on Tuesday the 2nd. Wednesday, quiet day except for socials. Thursday, Peacemaker episode 3 coverage. And even though I'm a little busy this week, I'm going to try to have comics and another live stream on Friday the 5th. That is going to be the plan. I appreciate y'all. I will see you next week for a ton of videos, and then things ramp up even more mid-September, and then birthday time. So, all right, much love, y'all. I'll see you soon. Thanks for being here. Thank you for listening, and thank you, as always, to Comic Books for existing. Go do something awesome. Bye.